Hey everybody, welcome to T-Roy Cooks. I appreciate you joining us, and thank you very much for joining me on this Thursday chat with Troy. This is where I answer your questions. If you have questions for me, just ask them below in the comments. I'll be sure and add them to the list so we can answer them on a future video. And man, this is my 10th episode. Thank you all very much for all of your great questions. We're going to get to it again, and as always, cheers to you. If you have any questions about the products that I may mention, or websites or YouTubers that I may mention, just hit the show more button down below the video. That'll open the description box. There's a lot of great info in there for you. Let's get to answering some of these questions. First one comes from Small Town Barbecue. He's like, he says, thanks for answering my question, T-Roy. He's talking about a previous question he asked on another previous video. He says, this time, what about injecting your briskets, pork butts, chickens, whole turkeys? How would you inject? With or against the grain? And preferred choice of smoking wood? I don't really worry about going with or against the grain when I'm injecting. Just whatever looks like a great spot, I'll just jab the needle in there and inject me some fluid in there, and I'm good to go. I've never worried about any of that stuff. You know, a lot of people do against the grain or with the grain. I've never found that big of a difference in it. So wherever the needle lands, that's where she's going in. As far as wood, my preferred wood is pecan, and my second choice will be post oak. That's what I mainly use 99.9% of the time. Pecan or post oak. Mainly pecan. Appreciate the question there, Small Town. Let's see, got Danny over here asking a question. Thanks for your videos, Troy. I appreciate you watching, Danny. You inspired me to smoke up here in New York. One question though, the WSM gets mighty messy. After a cook, what do you do, or what do you use to clean it? Thanks. Danny, I've mentioned this in a previous video where I showed you how to winterize my Weber Smoky Mountain. Honestly, it doesn't get cold enough here for me to have to winterize my Weber Smoky Mountain, and probably twice a year I'll just hose it down real good on the inside with the jet sprayer on my hose connection. That seems to do the job for me. You know, that gets all the crud out of there, and it doesn't mess with the inside carbon buildup at all. It just knocks off any of the crud that may have splashed up on the sides. Now we'll take a wire brush and scrape the grill grates, but I don't scrape them so hard that I'm getting back down to the stainless steel metal. I just scrape them to knock off any of the residue from the food or the barbecue sauce or rub, that kind of thing. So I don't scrape them really hard. I just knock that junk off of there and hose down the inside. Let it air dry and I'm good to go. Manure Fernandez, when cooking different types of meat in the WSM, how do you place them on the racks? For example, if cooking ribs and chicken, which do you put on the bottom rack and which one on the top? Manure, I always put my poultry on the bottom rack. Always. I mean, that's the safe food handling way to do it. Poultry goes on the bottom. So if I'm doing ribs and chicken, my ribs are going on the top, chicken on the bottom. If I'm doing a pork butt and brisket and chicken or turkey, that poultry's going on the bottom. My pork butt and my brisket going on the top rack. If I'm doing a brisket and a pork butt, the beef goes on top. That's just how I do it. That's how I like to roll with it. It doesn't really matter that much with the pork and the beef, but with poultry, you always want to put it on the bottom so it's not dripping those poultry juices on the rest of the food. So poultry on the bottom. Appreciate the question. Jonathan Havens. Hey Troy, love the Thursday chats as always. Hey Jonathan, appreciate you, bro. All right, my workplace is having a Christmas dinner very soon. I was thinking about doing a brisket. I have the 18.5-inch WSM and was wondering if a 9-pound natural prime brisket from Lobel's would fit in it. I'm afraid that it would be too big, and I don't know if cutting it in half is going to have any effect on it. Also, I was wondering if you think the Steakhouse rub from Oakridge BBQ would taste good on it, or should I use their Black Ops brisket rub? Sorry for the long question, Troy. Hope you and Karen doing fine. Yeah, we're doing great. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate the question, man. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that 9-pound, this approximately 9-pound brisket from Lobel's is going to fit on that 18.5-inch. But even if you have to cut it in half, just cut it where, when you're shaking the point side, you'll see that decal area where it jiggles. You see me doing towards the end of my videos quite a bit. Just cut it between, about halfway between the flat and the point, and that actually will give you more surface area for your rub to adhere and for you to build a bark. So it's not a bad idea to cut it in half anyway. I mean, a lot of the barbecue joints here in Texas, they separate the brisket, they cut it in half, and when you go and ask them for brisket, they'll ask you if you want the fatty or you want the lean. Of course, the fatty's the point, the lean being the flat. So they cook it by cutting it in half. So it's not the end of the world. In fact, like I said, you get a little bit more bark out of it. So either way you have to do it, it doesn't matter. You're going to have a great brisket, man. I know you're going to love it. Tell Lobel's old T-Roy sent you. Appreciate it. See, what the other question he had here, rubs. I would say go with the Black Ops. I mean, all of the Oakridge BBQ rubs are fantastic. I've tried all of them except for their habanero dust. Kind of leery to try that one alone. I may mix it with some other of their blends, but I hear it's pretty hot. That's why I hadn't tried it. I got it in the pantry. I'm sitting on it. But I would go with the Black Ops. That really does a really nice brisket bark on there. If you want their steak type blend, it's going to be not quite a good a bark, but it's still going to taste fantastic. Like I said, all of their blends, man, they've got some really nice blends over there at Oakridge BBQ. I love all of their stuff. But either one's fine. I would say go with the Black Ops though. That'd be my preference. Tiger T. I believe that's my buddy up there in Killeen, working in the Army. Appreciate all you do there, Tiger. T-Roy, here's my question. Have you ever gone to a professional cooking school? Or is everything you do self-taught? Everything I do is self-taught. Never been any kind of a culinary type school or barbecue class or anything like that. I have some good friends that have helped me along the way, because when I first moved to Texas, I did not really barbecue a lot at all. In fact, my original smoker was an old Brinkman smoker. It was hard to maintain temps, took forever to cook anything on it, but I did cook some turkeys on it and stuff like, chicken and stuff on it. But once I moved out here to Texas, I found out what real barbecue was like. Growing up in Louisiana, it was all about Cajun cooking. So anyway, got a lot of good friends like James over at Aim and Claim Smokers helping me out a lot. Tom from Tom's Test Kitchen, he's helped me out quite a bit. Of course, all my YouTube buddies that are on, all around the country, they've helped me as well. Got a lot of great cooks out there, and man, I got to tip my hat to each and every one of you for helping me get to where I'm at. But a lot of it's self-taught. Just have fun with it, man. Enjoy it. He's got another question here. Would you ever consider holding a class for yourself for the people here in Central Texas, just for fun? Of course I would. I've thought about doing that. It'd have to be a small type class though, and I'd probably have to charge for it because I've got to buy the meat and everything like that. But it'd probably be held here at my house, and again, a small group, maybe 5 to 10 people at the max. I could handle something like that, so I'm considering it. If I do something like that, I'll definitely let y'all know. Definitely. I appreciate the question, Tiger. Let's see what we got here. From Drew 1355. I'm very much a beginner and just ordered a master built as my first smoker. Well, congratulations on the smoker. What's your thoughts on electric smokers for starters like me? Also, have you ever been to Canada or Niagara Falls? We're trying to step up our barbecue game up here. Man, Karen and I just went up to the Northeast and all the New England states up there. We were probably 5 miles from Canada. Didn't make it to Niagara Falls or Canada though. I don't have a passport. That's one reason. I'd love to visit Canada sometime. But Karen and I we just hit the back roads and head out into the countryside. We don't really do all the touristy type stuff. We're just not into that. We like nature. So we stay on the back roads. Very rarely get on any kind of a highway or interstate type system where there's a lot of traffic. Stay away from all the large towns. We like going through the little small towns. And let's see, what else did your question ask here? The master built electric smoker. I personally have never had an electric smoker, so I can't truly comment on it. I have heard, in fact my uncle's got one, and he has trouble cooking on it. He has trouble trying to do the longer type cooks. I mean, I guess it would be all right as long as it's not super windy or super cold or anything like that. But just springtime, summertime, maybe early fall, I'm sure it'll work fine for you. The problem with a lot of them is they're very small, so you can't fit a lot of meat in there. But just for a small, you know, 1, 2, 3 person family, it's pretty much set it and forget it. You know, plug the thing in, set the temp, and you're good to go. I'll tell you who can probably answer the questions for you a little bit better about those electric Masterbuilts is my buddy Joe over at Southern Coastal Cooking. Y'all check the links out below, man. I've got all these YouTubers I'm mentioning down below in the description box. Just hit show more below the video and click their link and you send you to their channel. But Joe, Southern Coastal Cooking, he took an old Masterbuilt, I believe it was Masterbuilt electric smoker, and rebuilt it and used it in quite a few of his videos probably about 1.5 years or so ago. So check with him if you have any questions about him. But you know, congratulations on the smoker. It's a step towards learning how to smoke. I mean, you get to try the different rubs and smoking woods and stuff like that to see what your preferences are, and then from there, once you get the hang of that, you can step up to a Weber Smoky Mountain or you know, some other better built type smoker that uses charcoal or real wood if you want to go the offset route, which is my preference. But good luck with everything, man. Happy barbecuing, and appreciate the question. Tim Mature, hey Troy, do you strictly follow guidelines on what type of wood you use for smoking a particular meat? No, I don't. Like I said before, 99% of the time I'm using pecan or post oak. When I first started barbecuing, I was using hickory a lot, but I found that either I was using too much of it, or it's just such a strong smoking wood like mesquite. It makes your food bitter if you have it on the smoke on the meat too long. So I've scaled back. The pecan and post oak are lighter in flavor. They're kind of they're stronger than your fruit woods, but they're less than your mesquite and hickory, if that kind of makes sense. So I just like the flavor of pecan best, but post oak I like to change it up a little bit, so I'll get some post oak every once in a while. That's my preference. As far as having to have like apple wood for chicken or something like that, no, I don't do that. I love pecan and post oak on pretty much anything, even fish. You know, I love it. Good stuff. But everybody's got their own preference. You know, it's your pit, your barbecue. Do your own thing, man. Have fun with it. You know. What is your favorite wood for common use? Keep up the awesome videos, bro. Yeah, I just answered that for you, Tim. Pecan is my favorite. Post oak would be close second. Now, sometimes if I've got some hickory, like right now, I've got some hickory and mesquite in my garage. I've also got some apple and some cherry. But sometimes what I'll do is mix woods, and you may want to give that a try. That'll add some unique flavors as well. You know, do like a 50-50 mix or 75-25 mix. I like to cut the mesquite and hickory down with some pecan or even some apple or cherry or something like that to help mellow that smoke flavor that you get in your meat, you know. But give it a try. Again, just have fun with it, man. I appreciate the questions. Rick Hahn, Troy, love your channel and really respect your opinion. I appreciate that, Rick. Cheers to you. He says, I've been thinking about buying an air fryer for Christmas. Is it possible for you to do an episode about them? Let us know if they are worth it. Thank you, Rick from Cincinnati. Rick, Karen just got one. I mean, like within the last month. I think that it's a Cuisinart brand. I'm not positive on that. But she cooks, you know, the French fries all the time in it. You know, homemade French fries. And she cooks a mean steak in it. I like them because they have very little oil that you have to, you know, if any at all, when you're cooking anything in them. But I've tried it a couple of times, and I don't know if the heating element's off or if I'm just not used to it. I'm probably just not used to it. But it's like I overcook stuff when I'm using it. I just need to use it more. So perhaps when I get used to it, I'll do a video, or I'll have Karen do a video on it and show you our electric smoker. They're wonderful to have around, though. I'll tell you who's got a great challenge. She almost exclusively cooks with the electric fryers, air dryers. Thank you. Is that what they are? I can't remember. Buying an air fryer. Anyway, check out Booger 500 US. My dear sister out there on YouTube, Booger 500 US. Booger, sending you some love there, baby. Go check out Booger's channel, see what she's got going on, man. She uses her air fryer all the time, man. Almost every video. And she can give you a lot of advice on them, the cans and can'ts and do's and don'ts and that kind of thing. So check her out. Again, the link's down below. Appreciate the question. Let's see here. Go get a hand, I think is how you say that. Hey Troy, just got into your channel. You've been a big help with the new hobby of smoking on my Weber Smoky Mountain. Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. My question is, I noticed from a few of my smokes the past few times I used mustard as a base for either pulled pork or ribs. The mustard, I don't get a good smoke ring on the meat, but if I don't use mustard, I do get a good smoke ring. Am I putting too much mustard on, or is there a secret that I don't know about? I'd say you're probably using too much mustard. Now mustard, you can't really taste it when you're, at the end of the cook. The cooking process takes that mustardy flavor out, but the mustard has some vinegar in it that will help kind of tenderize the meat a little bit. So it's good as a base, but I would say you may be putting too much on there. Go less on it. Less is more a lot of times, as you know. Or maybe thin it out with some water, or maybe add a little bit more vinegar to it, something like that. What I use Worcestershire sauce a lot, or I don't use anything at all. And I've done it both ways, but I do use mustard sometimes, especially like on pork butts, and it really does give a nice bark. And I really haven't had any issues getting a smoke ring, and but I do put a really super thin layer. Go back and check out some of my pork butt videos or some of my Weber Smoky Mountain videos, and watch how I put mustard on. I don't use it every time, but I have used it, so check some of those videos out. That may help you. But I appreciate the question. Keith Bedtag, my good old friend Keith. Hey man, it's Keith's birthday today, I believe, and yesterday was his wife Terry. So happy birthday, fellas, guys, gals. I love them bed tags, man, I'll tell you. What you got for me, Keith? Let's see. Hey Troy, no, you have a couple of vids of Mama Jean's recipes. Now, Mama Jean, for y'all that don't know, Mama Jean is my 91-year-old grandmother. As I've said before, I grew up learning how to cook in the kitchen from Mama Jean, my grandmother, and from my mom, and also from my dad. Let's see, Keith's question is there a recipe or meal from your childhood days that you consider comfort food and you make now and again? Just to remember your roots, the good old days, and rekindle some memories of the past. Have a good one, guy. You have a good one too there, Keith. I appreciate the question, man. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, we grew up, we had our own garden. We really didn't grocery shop a whole lot. We ate a lot of veggies and fruits and stuff like that. A lot of times we had beans and rice, and if we had some sausage in it or a ham hock or something, smoked ham hock, that was primo meal right there, man. That was good stuff. But red beans, rice, and sausage, I'd have to say, is one of those meals, and yeah, we do cook it quite often here. Greens, mustard and turnip greens, man, I remember we'd pull a whole big old mess of greens out of the garden, and they got dirt and sand and stuff on them. My mom would take them and put them in the washing machine and just run the rinse cycle, to rinse all the grit off of them, and then spin dry them, not in the dryer, but just spin them in the washing machine, and then we take them out and cut or take the leaves off the stem and make a big mess of those in a pot on the stove. Boy, that was some good eating. Oh yeah, man, that's good stuff. What else? We used to pick the green beans, and snap them there at the table, and stuff, and cook those up with some new potatoes and maybe some ham, or if we were lucky, smoked ham hock, stuff like that. In fact, Karen and I made that just last week. Good stuff, man. Really good. Yeah, thanks for the memories, Keith. I appreciate that, bro. Here's to you. And from Karen and I, we love you guys up there in Evansville, and wish y'all a happy new year coming up for your birthday. And is it your 60th, Keith? Happy birthday there, big fella. Let's see. Paul Barbecue. Man, I'd like an offset smoker. Just sitting around old school style, drinking beer with the pals, waiting for your brisket to be done. That's good stuff, Paul. I love it too. Also, got another question. What's your favorite TV show or movie? That's a good question. I'm not really that much into movies. If I do, they're going to be sci-fi, like Star Trek movies, Star Wars, some of the I do like some comedies. I like watching Sandra Bullock. She's pretty funny. I like the older type stuff, like the Smoking the Bandit, Caddyshack, stuff like that. It's mainly sci-fi or comedy. I don't watch a lot of the drama stuff. What you doing, Lucy? Good girl. So anyway, I do watch some TV shows though. Excuse me. What do I watch nowadays? I watch a lot of football this time of year, but usually, you know, I don't watch a lot of prime time type TV. But what I do watch, I watch Scorpion. I watch The Flash. I watch Agent Carter. I watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, stuff like that. Yeah, it's again, it has to do with like science or science fiction type stuff. I like that kind of stuff. I used to watch Big Bang Theory, but I don't know, for the last couple of years I just hadn't, kind of got out of it, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, hope that helps answer your questions. Hope y'all learn a little bit more about me. Let's see here. Joe Anderson. Talking about dry aging, why ribeye versus any other cut for this process? He's asking quite a few questions. I'm going to go one at a time. Why ribeye? Because I love ribeye. But really, any cut of beef would work. Brisket, strip loin, rump roast. You know, you can age any of that stuff. You can age venison. You can age all kind of different meats, bison and stuff. You know, so I just choose ribeye because that's what I like. He says, why 6 weeks and not 7 or 5? I just, again, chose 6 weeks. That's my preferred. A lot of people prefer 21 to 28 days, you know, 3 or 4 weeks. But the time is really dependent on you, how long you want to wait for it to age, and how strong of a flavor you want. The longer that it ages, the stronger that aging flavor, and it's hard to describe if you've never had it before. So a lot of people are put off by the stronger, you know, 6 weeks or longer than 6 weeks. I'd say 6 weeks is probably the max. I've had some like 8-week-old steak, and it started getting a little, you know, kind of strong for me. So 6 weeks is about right for me, but 3 or 4 weeks is prime for pretty much everybody else unless you're really into it. Let's see what else you have. What are the benefits of aging beef? Well, I can tell you, one of the questions you should be asking is, why is it so much more expensive? And that kind of ties into your question here. When you dry age beef, you're losing about 20 to 30% of the moisture content in the muscle. And, you know, meat is sold by the pound. So if when you're done aging, that meat weighs 30% less than it started out weighing, you're losing money, or you have to hike the price up a little bit. The aging process allows the enzymes that are in the meat itself to further tenderize and flavor the muscle of the meat. And when you're not dehydrating is not the right word, but when that moisture escapes out of the meat from the aging process, you get a more intense beef flavor. And then the enzymes breaking down that meat, along with some of the natural occurring like fungal type growths that may be on the outside, crusty outside part, it's not bad for you. And that actually helps break down the meat and helps tenderize it and flavor it. So you know, it's just a way of tenderizing the meat and giving you a little bit more enhanced flavor of the beef. And you also get a nice rich buttery tone from the aroma of it, and it's really super tender. And the more fat content you have in the meat that you're aging, the better off the aging process will be. So you're better off using USDA Prime or Wagyu. I have done Choice and Select, and they do okay, but you're better off having a little bit more fat content like USDA Prime or Wagyu or Kobe. So hope that helps. And you have a lot of, not only are you losing the moisture, which you're losing weight, you're also trimming off a lot of that outside edge, the not bark is the wrong word, but that crust on the outside, it gets really hard. You're shaving a lot of that off most of the time, so that's waste. And again, that's driving the price of that dry-aged meat up. So that's why you pay more for dry-aged. But man, that's some good stuff. I usually buy my racks of you know, rib roasts and stuff like that around Christmas time or New Year's. So that's when my local grocery store has the better sales on that meat. So that's usually when I do dry aging. But man, great questions. Let's see what else you have here. What did you do for the cooking process? And I guess you're talking about that 42-day age dry aged beef video I did. I just fired up my offset, my Yoda Wichita, and I had some pecan or post oak, I forget which one I used, but had some wood burning in the firebox, and I let it get down to coals. So the wood had burned up. It's just, you know, fire coals down in there. I stuck my grill grate on the firebox end, and just, you know, just grilled and seared those steaks directly over the coals. It's good stuff, man. And that's just my preference. You know, sometimes I'll use my DCS gas grill and just sear them that way. Or if it's an inch and a half or more thick, I'll do a reverse sear. That's really great on those thicker cuts. Do a reverse sear. You have any other questions? He says, I have so many questions. Yeah, you do. That's okay, Joe. That's okay. I got them all in, I believe. He says he's happy to do the research himself, but it'd be great if I would share more of my knowledge on camera. So that way I could just come to your channel. Yeah, Joe, I hope you catch this, man. I appreciate all the questions, and if you do some dry aging, send me some pictures, man. Put them on my Facebook for me and let me check it out. It's good stuff. Sonny G 16. Hello, Troy. How are you? I'm doing good, Sonny. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. I love to barbecue and smoke meat, and I'm trying to set up a YouTube channel. Any tips? Find something you really love doing and do it. Don't do it like other people. Do it the way that you want to do it. So don't be a copycat. Just do your own thing. Have fun with it. It may take you a year and a half, maybe even 2 years to get your name out there and let people start realizing that you're out there. But you know, you can help promote yourself on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, stuff like that, you know. But just be yourself. Have fun with it. But it'll take you a while to start building up some subscribers. And once you start getting around 1,000 subscribers, that main subscriber base will start telling their friends, and you'll just start blossoming out, you know, like I have. You know, just word of mouth, man. It's the greatest advertisement you can ever ask from anybody. So each and every one of you guys, I appreciate all that you do to share my videos. It really means a lot to me. That's why I am where I'm at. So each one of you have a part in this. I appreciate it. But good luck with your channel there, Sonny. If you get some videos going, let me know, man. Send me a link to your channel. I'll see if I can check you out and stay up with you. But good luck with everything. Smoking Hams Barbecue. What would you say is your all-time favorite movie or actor or song? Ooh, that's a rough one, man. Song-wise, I'd say probably the theme from the original Star Wars movie. I like that pretty good. As far as the movie or an actor, I mentioned Sandra Bullock earlier. I like her. I like the old Clint Eastwood type movies, you know. And again, I enjoyed Smoking the Bandit and Caddyshack and stuff like that. But I really enjoy sci-fi mainly. I don't watch a lot of movies, but when I do, they're usually sci-fi or some type of comedy. Every once in a while, Karen will twist my arm and make me go watch some kind of, you know, one of them women type movies that us guys don't like to go see sometimes. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. Got to love the wife, man. If she ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Ain't that right? Love you, Karen. Let's see. Small Town Barbecue. Do you remember your first video? Oh man, do I ever remember my first video? Man, that was a long time ago. That's almost 5 years ago, I think. At least 4.5. I remember I didn't want to show my face on video. I remember it was probably doing some chicken, maybe chicken breast or something, and I probably just grilled it on my gas grill, my DCS gas grill. That's probably what it was. I can't think of anything else I'd try just to get a video out there and see how I did. Let's see, Gordo's Good Eats. Here's a question: what type of cutlery do you use, and what's your favorite brand? Wusthof. I love Wusthof. I've always had good luck with them. They hold a nice edge on them. Don't have to sharpen them very much. But check out the links in the description box. I'll put Amazon links for Wusthof knives there for you if you want to check them out. That's all I got, guys. I appreciate it. I mean, I've got some more questions, but I'm going to call this one done. We'll catch y'all on the next episode. Hope y'all give me a thumbs up. And I hope you tell all your friends about T-Roy Cooks. And when you do, y'all tell them, share that video, man. You know, share it with their friends. So word of mouth, that's like I said before. But I love each and every one of you. Keep the questions coming. Leave me questions down in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to answer them on a future episode. Until next time, T-Roy Cooks. We out of here, man. Cheers.